The colonel mocked her silence until she spoke the code that shut down the base. The courtyard shimmered in the bright midday sun, dust lifting in lazy spirals as boots scraped against the stone. Soldiers stood at ease, their eyes shifting toward a young woman who had been brought into the center. Her silence was heavy, deliberate, unsettling. And that silence, more than her presence, was what made the colonel laugh. His voice carried across the ranks, sharp with mockery. What use is a soldier who refuses to speak? A shadow with no orders, no words, no will. The others chuckled nervously, but she only stared at the ground, lips pressed shut as if holding something far greater than pride. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The colonel circled her like a predator, testing weakness. Every word he spat was designed to break her spirit, to strip her down in front of the others. Yet in her stillness, there was a strange defiance. She felt her pulse hammering in her temples, her hands trembling just enough that she hid them behind her back. Every insult cut deeper, but she clung to her silence because she knew one truth: words held power and timing could change everything. Whispers traveled through the ranks like ripples on water. Some pitied her. Others wondered why she wouldn't defend herself. Say something, they thought. Anything. But she remained the stone at the river's center, unmoved. The colonel smirked, convinced he had won. He turned to the men, spreading his arms. See, even the mute knows her place. Laughter erupted, forced, uneasy, but loud enough to sting. She closed her eyes, the heat of the sun pressing against her eyelids. She remembered the promise she had made long ago, to speak only when it mattered most. And this, she realized, was that moment. With one breath, steady and sharp, she lifted her gaze to meet his. The courtyard fell into an eerie stillness. Then she spoke. It was not a defense, not a plea. It was a string of numbers, clipped and exact. A code buried deep within classified systems. Her voice was clear, commanding, and the words echoed off the stone walls. The colonel froze mid-step, his smirk dissolving as color drained from his face. Soldiers glanced at each other, confused, until the ground around them shifted. Alarms wailed. Automated gates screeched shut. Consoles within the command post blinked red, one after another, until the entire base groaned into lockdown. Gasps spread like wildfire. The colonel's knees buckled as the weight of her words sank in. He staggered, clutching his chest as though the truth itself had struck him. For years, he had mocked silence, believing it weakness. Yet here it was, silence broken at the perfect moment, with words sharp enough to dismantle everything he controlled. The soldiers stood frozen, caught between loyalty and awe. Some looked at the colonel with doubt for the first time, others with shame. A moral question hung heavy in the hot air. Who truly holds power, the one who speaks to belittle, or the one who waits to speak until truth becomes a weapon? Then slowly, a sound rose among the ranks. It was not laughter this time, but applause. First a single soldier, clapping once, firm and steady, then another. And soon the entire courtyard thundered with it, their voices rising, not for the colonel, but for her. For the courage it took to wait. For the strength it took to endure. The colonel could do nothing. The base was sealed. His power dissolved in the daylight, exposed for what it was, fragile, hollow, loud but empty. She turned from him, shoulders square, eyes steady. In her silence, she had carried the code. In her voice, she had restored the truth. Because courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it waits in silence, until the world is ready to listen. And the silence that began with shame ended as triumph beneath the sun. If this story moved you, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. Because here, every silence, every voice, and every hidden act of courage finds its way back to the light.